Hi ladies and gentlemen, Murin Reidenberg here. This is what my new video setup, my background slash studio is going to be looking like or will look like. There are still some items that need to be put in place, some background items. As you can see, my background currently is completely empty or bald, an empty background. But in any case, I'm gonna keep that a surprise. You guys, my viewers and followers, will notice themselves what the difference is in maybe a month or two or so. It's been ages since I've done a video, specifically an occult video. And in any case, the topic that I'm going to be discussing in this video, as you can tell already from the header, is going to be about the lottery. This topic applies from an occult perspective or to an occult perspective, as well as towards a neutral perspective or from a neutral perspective. Thereby I mean that it applies to people interested in the occult or from an occult vantage point, as well as from a neutral vantage point. The age-old let's try winning the lottery. If I win the lottery, I will millions. That subject matter or that topic. Most of us, at the very least, most of us know that winning the lottery would be thrilling, to say the least. And yeah, people that have an interest in the occult, you have more than a few of them that also dream of winning the lottery, and a couple of them have tried to win the lottery via occult means. I also tried to win the lottery with Belial, the easiest lottery and the simplest lottery that I could find. This was ages ago. The links in the description below for people that have not seen the video yet or watched the video yet. This was last year, approximately. But that was strictly as an occult project, an occult experimental project, if you will. But yeah, in this video I'm going to be discussing why you shouldn't try to win the lottery. And this isn't me preaching or anything like that, but anyone watching this video, I'd say just don't do it, This video isn't going to be too long, but let's start from a neutral perspective. What do people that are generally speaking interested in the lottery and or play the lottery, what are they like? What's the profile of such a person? I'm going to be blunt the way I usually am, People that try to win the lottery or partake in the lottery, just play the lottery in general, these people are usually worthless losers. These people are people that are hopelessly broke, that have difficulty getting by, to say the least. People whose lives are generally speaking, lead lives filled with pain and misery and adversity. And they're specifically poor, and they think to themselves, if I put as delusional as they are, they just think to themselves, maybe if God makes me win the lottery, or maybe if I manage to win the lottery by some happenstance or chance, all of my problems are solved, or at the very least, most of my problems are solved. You can see the appeal from a neutral perspective. If someone makes, for example, let's just say an American that makes $1,000 or $1,200 a month, how winning a lottery worth $5 billion would appeal to that person. It's money that they will never see under any normal circumstance, regardless of how hard they work in their life, for the entire duration of their life. It's money that most of us will never see. But again, there are numerous problems. Like I said, these people, what's the problem with these people? These people are losers. These people are delusional. They can't see the reality of things. As most of us already also know, the chances of winning the lottery are astronomical due to the odds, The odds are ridiculously high. The average lottery, which issues millions to the lucky winner, millions of dollars, has roughly estimated a winning ratio of 1 to millions even. At the very least 1 to 500,000, so 1 in 500,000. Those are your chances and your odds of winning. So even if you were to play the lottery your entire life, the chances of you winning are slim to none, because you won't be able to reach that 500,000. And yeah, it's just, again, there are also numerous other variables that need to be taken into consideration. And you're not the only one playing the lottery. You need to literally see to everything. Everything has to be perfect relating. If it's a number-based draw, you need to see to it that you have all your numbers in a correct order or row, you name it. It just goes on. For any person that is rational and thinking, like me, I never liked the lottery. And that's the reason why I never liked the lottery. Is because I know, okay, just looking at it from a mathematical point of view already makes you seem that it's impossible. Okay, me trying to win the lottery is like me saying, hey, I'm gonna climb Mount Everest. No, it's not. It's not doable. It's highly unlikely, to say the least. Okay, highly unlikely that I'll be able to do something like that, because for me, a number of reasons. I lack the stamina for one. I lack the proper know-how on how to climb Everest, and it just goes on and on and on. Even the most experienced mountain climbers have difficulty, and most of them end up dying halfway, or some of them even at the foot of Mount Everest, you name it. This is just a metaphorical example. But yeah, those are, from a neutral perspective, it's already pretty useless trying to win the lottery, okay? From a mathematical viewpoint, from a rational perspective, winning the lottery is just stupid. Or trying to win the lottery by just playing it is just stupid. And yeah, that's the profile of the average person. I've met more than my fair share of them, unfortunately. Okay, and this is what all of them have in common. Not one person have I met that was, relatively speaking, normal, or that had no difficulties financially. Not one person that was content with his or her life, his or her financial situation, and someone who has all his ducks in a row, to put it like that. Someone who is who's leading a stable life, specifically financially and generally speaking. No, none of that. Okay, most of these people, or practically all of them that I've met, these people all have the same in common. They had difficulty getting by financially. They were broke. They were struggling to get by, making ends meet. They either worked dead-end jobs, or they had jobs that amounted to nothing, or they were either minimum wage jobs. And even in non-related aspects of their life, it was nothing but pain and misery. Okay, so that's from a neutral perspective. So yeah, if any one of these people is watching, don't play the lottery. Okay, you'd be much better off just trying to work a normal job and expand from there. Try to find a job that pays better. Okay, try to educate yourself resume wise, or try to improve your resume to the point where you deserve to be paid more, and so on and so forth. Try to organize your life in such a way that you are able to get by. Okay, live according to your financial status, but don't try to act like a hot shot when you cannot afford it to do so. And yeah, that's it from a neutral perspective. And now from an occult perspective, I've already mentioned that what I did was just as an occult project, a project that was very interesting and appealing to me, because if successful, then yeah, I can basically win the lottery back to back. But like I said, the anomalies, even from an occult perspective, are too high. Trying to win the lottery and doing so successfully would take up way too much time, energy, and resources, and in some cases it's just not doable. Okay, not even some, in most cases it's not doable. The anomalies are way too high. We're talking about the odds are millions, and or literally millions to one, and that's just not doable. And even playing the smallest, cheapest lottery is not it's not profitable for me as an occultist. Okay, I'm not going to take part in $1,000 lottery draws or anything like that, although those would be easier to win, but I'm just not content with that kind of money, making all of that effort just to win $1,000. I could win them back to back, but it's just not worth it. Back then, I remember that in my calculation, it just came down to it that it wasn't profitable. It was just a waste of time and energy, and without any necessary output that made it profitable. So yeah, from an occult perspective too, okay, there are people that have thought about trying to win the lottery, or that have partaken in gambling, specifically relating to the occult. You can also find the link in the description below. Okay, I also have a video about the occult and gambling. in which I discuss the same matter, or the same matter in a related fashion. The occult, okay, trying to involve the occult in gambling is also not, for the reasons I just mentioned, okay. Generally speaking, it's not feasible. It's also not worth it. And yet you still have people that are so delusional that they try to find people, they either try to find sidekicks, or they try to find people of a spiritual nature, people like me, magicians and so on, that try to and ask these people to help them win the lottery, which is, or try to predict the outcome of football matches, or try this or try that. It's not even remotely going to work, okay? There are way too many anomalies to consider. There are way too many things to keep in mind. There are way too many things that cannot be done, okay? Too many variables that need to be taken into account. And trying to win the lottery that way is, or trying to predict football matches, trying to undertake any form of gambling, okay, or chance is, it's not recommended, okay. The idea is appealing and interesting, but no, it's just, it's not worth it, because again, that's the definition of gambling. It's a gamble. It's a gamble. It's not based on any means of calculation, or it's not something dependent, something you can depend on. No, it's literally all about risk factors, and you'll find that you'll keep investing and you won't be getting anything in return. Unless you can find a surefire way to actually win back to back, then it's not profitable, okay, for anyone. So yeah, that is also it relating to the occult, okay. I have experience in with customers of mine. I have had, for example, in the past, a customer that wanted me to predict football matches for him, and I said, okay, we can try, but of course it didn't work out. Like I said, okay, for the reasons that I mentioned, the variables are way too high, and way too many anomalies to take into consideration. There are way too many, the risk factor is and the chance factor is way too high. Okay, there's no surefire way to actually predict football matches, let alone the lottery and so on. So yeah, that's also a reason why one should not try to engage in the occult, try to engage in gambling or the lottery from a neutral perspective, as well as from a neutral point of view, as well as from an occult point of view. Okay, you would be better off, and that's what I also strongly advise people. You would definitely be better off undertaking some venture that has a certain sense of reliability. That's not a complete wild card like the lottery and other gambling ventures. I mean, if you engage in occult practices as well as neutral practices, just see to it that they're reliable in terms of financial outcome and providing a certain financial outcome for you. Like I mentioned, from a neutral perspective, trying to find a better job or simply securing a better job for yourself is more reasonable, okay, and it's more realistic. From an occult perspective, the same deal, trying to find a better job or simply investing your money in something and simply bringing the occult into that, okay, to ensure the highest rate of success is more realistic, okay. But don't delude yourself into thinking that you're going to win the lottery or that you're going to strike it big with gambling or anything like that. I'm not saying that it's impossible. I'm just saying that it's so unlikely to the point where it's simply not worth your effort, and you'll find yourself stranded in most cases after years of investing, worth of investing. Okay, you don't have to take my word for it. This isn't my opinion. This is based on facts. You can just look it up and you'll see for yourself. Even people that have won the lottery, okay, these people have won the lottery by some unforeseen miracle or wonder. God, metaphorically speaking, has smiled down upon them, but that smile is also a curse for them because they can't handle that amount of money and they end up worse off than they were before. You have things like, I've seen numerous lottery videos or lottery winner videos where the lottery winners that were broke, they won the lottery and they started spending their money extravagantly, and things just went completely wrong from there. they either ended up committing suicide, or they were robbed by family members, they were kidnapped for a ransom. It just keeps going on and on and on. Okay, so now it's definitely not advisable to look deeper into this subject matter or topic. There are plenty of other ways that you can make money, and ways that are more reliable and more stable and more realistic, okay, and that are more attuned to the world, okay, or more in tune with the world, whether you're an occultist or not. That's all. Thanks for watching. Bye.